Welcome back, everybody. Tuesday morning show rolls on. So, for the first time I can remember, in at least a decade plus, the Dragons are not playing this weekend. They have a bye week, which may not sound crazy, but the Northern Sun has, for years, just played 11 straight weeks, and then it's on to the postseason. That's not the case in 2025. MSU Moorhead will take the week off before they play their final 4 games of the regular season. Remember, the Dragons played in week 0 way back in late August, and now play 7 straight, take a week off, and then they've got 4 to go. So for our next guest, I'm sure he's just crawling the walls. He doesn't know what to do with himself. As head coach Steve Laqua joins us each and every Tuesday at 10:35. You and I were joking off. When's the last time you actually had a bye week as a coach?
As a coach, it was 2006 when I was at NDSU, and I don't even remember what we did during that week. All I think I went somewhere to watch a football game on a Friday night in South Dakota, probably, or whatever. So it's I couldn't even go back to my memories and be like, hey, here's what you do during a bye week.
So you knew this was coming. What do you got planned? How do you plan for this? So you've never done this before.
Yeah, it's a thing of like, okay, we've got to make sure that we get our guys healthy. I think that was kind of the number one thing. We also have a scrimmage with the kind of the JV, if you want to call it, the red shirt guys. Because of the 4-game rule, you can take advantage of that, and those guys, that can be one of their 4 games. And so with Jamestown, we have that set up tomorrow to be able to have that kind of a no special teams, but live tackle, clock running situation. We can get some development there. So we're taking these first 2 weeks and really, honestly, our first team offense and defense has become the scout team. We're showing some of these JV guys, here's the looks you're going to see. Let's get you ready. And so we really feel like we've got a chance to kind of steal a spring ball type feel or a scrimmage and probably a higher level of that, because it's going to be full tackle for the whole thing, and see if we can get some development. We'll do some good on good today, and then Thursday, Friday will definitely be kind of like a fall camp, short practice, but let's be intense. Let's get to it. And then we're going to give the guys the weekend off. You know, there's a lot of chatter. Should we practice Saturday, do this? And I'm like, the point of the bye week is to be able to not just physically rest, but mentally rest too. Like, these guys want to sit down Saturday and watch college football, or maybe they want to go hunting. Let's give them that opportunity. And then we got to hit it and sprint for 4 straight weeks to finish this thing off.
How odd does it feel for you? Like, I know your coaches are all creatures of routine. This is definitely not part of the usual routine. Definitely
a different feel. Pulled up out of the submarine. I realized the Jets aren't doing very well. Didn't know that until this week. Mets weren't in the baseball playoffs, which I guess baseball playoffs are going on. So I was like, wow, I didn't realize how tough it's been on you in the last 5. So I kind of feel bad that we haven't had haven't given you some support over that.
Hey, first off, you and I have known each other a long time. I can tell you that this is like rinse and repeat with both those teams, all right? You could be in the submarine for 15 years. You could say the same thing to me, so there's nothing different about that. But I appreciate that.
That's a good segue into the rinse and repeat. How about what we did in our game this last week of almost blowing it? And then
all right, well, you ripped the Band-Aid off, so I'm looking at, I'm at the Bison game, and I've got your score up on my computer. Like, all right, it's 38-14. Cool, they're going to go and win, and then, calling the game, and I look back. Wait a minute, 38-35? What happened?
Yeah, we gave up a lot of points and didn't score any. We get the touchdown, it gets to 17. I'm looking at it going, okay, this is about the situation last week. There's no way this is going to happen again. And we start to put a drive together, and then we fumble. I'm like, okay, well, we're okay. We're going to – now they go down and score. We don't get the onside kick again. I'm going, oh, man. Then they score, and then we go down. We're trying to run the clock out, and we don't get it run out and give them 24 seconds left. I think that's about the time when I felt my pulse in my neck, like whatever artery or whatever that – I felt it in there, so – lo and behold, we got to defend a Hail Mary to win this thing again. So it's, man, I've told the guys, I've told them again, like, life keeps giving you the challenge. Yeah. So you learn the lesson or develop the skill. And so we haven't developed the skill. The good news is we've won both of them the last 2 weeks. We're going to be in the situation again against a better team in a higher stakes game with less margin for error, and we're going to have to be better. And so I think there's a definite focus this week going into the bye week of understanding, if we won these last 2 games in big time fashion, which we were well on our way to,
right,
we're we're feeling really great about ourselves. Instead, we're like, holy, we can be this bad and lose it like that, or we can be this good and win easy. We got to get some consistency, and let's get it taken care of here, fellas. So I think that's helped the urgency of the bye week.
I was going to say, so on the bus heading home, I mean, what was you got to be excited, obviously, to win is tough, but it felt like tempered with that wasn't good?
I think that was the definite vibe of it was not a feel-good win. And I tried to really, let's not fall into that trap. But college football is so difficult to win consistently. Wins are not easy to come by. Half the teams lose every week. So we're not in that half. That's good, right? And you look at it and you just try and the appreciation for, hey, we did find a way to get it done. Let's respect winning. I told our guys in the team meeting on Monday, I said, how many times when the game's done, do you grab your phone, you look at the scores of the NSIC conference, and do you ever in a week look at it and go, oh yeah, everything went as expected? There's always one score that catches you off guard. And so nothing is a given. Hey, let's just be happy we got out with wins, and let's take the information, let's get better and move forward.
So out of that, would you rather play this week to maybe emphasize that message, or is it okay to be done for the week?
I think it's okay. We're probably at the point 7 weeks in where we've got a lot of beat up bodies. Our defense played 94 snaps, as how it ended up in that game, because the defense scored a touchdown, so they had to go right back out for another long drive. We score on a 3 or 5 play short series. They were out there most of the fourth quarter. We've got a lot of beat up bodies that I'm glad we got a chance to rest and recover, because we're going to go through a gauntlet here in the last month. So hopefully we can be ready for that at full strength.
I was talking about that, Steve. Out of the bye, you go to Northern, and Northern's playing this week. So how much, I guess, is an advantage there that you get a chance to watch them while they're playing this coming weekend?
Well, you hope it's an advantage in that we're rested, sharp, fresh. We've had fresh and clean eyes to be able to look at their stuff and a game plan. It's not kind of just week after week in the grind. You hope that's better. Now, what you worry about is how about the sync, the rhythm, the whatever you have of not just a game week, but for us in throwing the football. If you're a little bit off, it's incomplete, series are done. Like, you have to be in some consistent rhythm. So that's probably a concern. It's probably a plus both ways.
Then after that, with Bemidji, Jamestown, and end the season with Mankato, I know it's a week-to-week deal, but are you looking at this, okay, if we run the table, we've put ourselves into a position to be eligible for the postseason?
Last time you talked about something like this with us getting a top 25 vote or whatever, then we came out late.
I know. I got to ask.
I feel like I can't touch this one. This is like, we got to have a good bye week. Let's get healthy. Let's figure some things out. And then we got to go into Northern, who, you know what, they're playing really good football. They just beat Duluth as a top 10 team, first loss of the season for Duluth. We got to go into that place, which is a difficult place. We've just got to find a way to survive and advance. And hey, if we can do that, then you know what, then we got to go play a team that we haven't beat, which it feels like a decade. So we've got plenty of challenges before we can even start talking about that.
All right, let me ask a different way, though. For your players, I'm sure they see it. You mentioned they're on their phones. They don't address that with them. Like, hey, if we take care of business, we could do something here.
Yeah, it's a lot of business to take care of. So it's like you can't go 2-0 if you don't go 1-0. So like we got to get to the 1-0. And I think the way the last 2 weeks have played out, I don't think our guys any of us could overlook. We're like, yeah, we had a 25-point lead. It's disappeared in the, like that. Like this goes quickly. So let's just, let's not get caught up in like thinking about in the advance. Let's be in the here and now a little bit. Like what we've got going on, to take a step back, like I am this week, of looking at it's really special. We're looking at one of the best Division II quarterbacks, certainly probably the best quarterback that's ever going to play in our program. We've got a kid that's potentially going to be the all-time leading receiver in Division II football history playing. We've got a guy that scored over 30-some touchdowns as a school record. Like, we've got some phenomenal things going on that, like, let's not get caught in the blur. Let's just take a step back and be like, wow, this is a really amazing thing. Like, let's try and keep leveraging it and riding that wave.
How much do you have to remind yourself of that as well?
Definitely do. Last week I felt like, hey, this is a moment when I realized we're coming up on the bye week. You obviously want to win and not have that lingering over, but we're down to 4 weeks. Yeah. And this group of tremendous amount of seniors that you feel great. You've got so many relationships built, some, history, games that we've played. We played in a lot of big games, fun games with this group. And you're like, and this ride's almost done, and you start appreciating the ones that they chose to come back. They wanted to do this. They maybe had options to do other things. They've maybe come back from injuries, and you're just like, this is really special what we're in. Let's not get caught up just rushing week to week to week. Let's stop and smell the roses, and you know what? Really go out and savor the moment.
All right. So now people have to know for you, are you just wander around aimlessly Friday night? Like, are you going to a high school? What are you going to do with yourself this weekend? We got to know.
Some people would say I aimlessly am wandering around. I'm like, I don't know if that's a lot different. So what's really going to happen is, I think it's pretty cool. So my daughter plays volleyball for the Dragons, and it's really luck out that they have a home game Thursday night. So right after practice, I get to watch that. And then Saturday they play in Duluth. So when our practice is done Friday, we're going to go stay with Grandpa and Grandma in Park Rapids halfway. We're going to make the trip, and we're going to get a chance to watch her. I don't get a chance to sit down and watch many of those games. Even Fridays, I get half, and then we've got football stuff. I can get in there Saturday after we're done playing if it's a home game, which matches up 2 times this year. But to be honest, my brain feels like it's been through a meat grinder. I'm there, but I'm probably not really. I don't got a lot of energy to cheer and clap, and so this will be nice to be able to go in there and and see her play and her teammates and really cheer them on, because they're having a fabulous season. Potentially, they get a win Thursday. I think it's the most wins they've had in over a decade. So there's some good stuff going on.
All right, I know how you are as track dad. How are you as volleyball dad? Are you that guy? You crazy guy?
I really try not to be. Track, basketball, there's so many points that I have to remind myself, just stay calm, whatever. But yeah, I like to fist pump and get them going, like get going and excited about it. And a lot of times watching these, I just say there's no way I could be a basketball or volleyball coach. It's too volatile. Football's got the same highs and lows, but there's overtime. So you know what? I'm more used to sitting with a bad call, or losing a 25-point lead takes a lot of time. There's a buildup, and I can manage that for a while, and then it changes. These runs back and forth, not for this.
It's great to see you, bud. Enjoy your week. Go have fun watching some volleyball, and we'll catch up next Tuesday, okay?
Sounds great.
There he goes, Steve Laqua joining us, MSU head football coach. Dragons in the bye week at 5-2. They'll be back in action a week from Saturday with a biggie at Northern State. We'll come back. We'll take our final break. We wrap things up. We got a busy Sports Tuesday ahead. Some baseball, some hockey, and yeah, there's college football tonight. We'll get you ready for that when Hot Mike wraps right after this.